What it takes is this. It takes an ecosystem. You can't create innovation with just one talented person or just with some skills, or just with an environment. It takes a whole ecosystem to create innovation. So what do you mean by an ecosystem? I mean, there's this book I wrote called The Innovation Ecosystem. We also relabeled it differently. We called it Spark. In that book, I talk about 10 pillars or elements that make the ecosystem of a business, which is necessary to create innovation. And these are some of the elements. I won't go in any order of priority. The first element is process. You can't create innovation unless you have an innovation process or methodology. Like, for instance, investigation, ideation, implementation. It's a kind of process to create innovation. So first thing you need is a process. The second element or pillar is structure. You cannot do innovation if you don't have a structure for innovation. Remember the 3 boxes. See, that's a structure. Okay? So there's got to be a structure for innovation. Otherwise, innovation is not going to happen. Otherwise, most people are going to spend all their time focusing on the present challenges, present crises, present opportunities, and so on. The third is skill set. Now, you can create innovation only if there is what I call cognitive diversity. In other words, you've got to bring together people with diverse skills. The other pillar is mindset. To create innovation, you need a particular kind of mindset. Okay? The next pillar is leadership. Innovation ultimately is driven by leadership. Remember the example I gave, you need to have a leader that is able to balance these 3 boxes. The box of the past, the box of the present, and the box of the future. So, if you look at any great company which continuously delivers innovation, it is always helmed by a great leader. Whether it's Apple or whether it is Netflix, so any of the companies that we admire, Google, you see the leaders, it starts from the top. The signal comes from the top, right? Another pillar is the environment. You got to have a great, conducive, stimulating environment. And that is a catalyst for great innovation. That's why great innovative companies, they always have fantastic environments. Like Lego, for instance, has a great environment to work. Pixar, fantastic environment. Another pillar is culture. I always say environment is the hardware, but culture is the software. Culture is how people interact, how they think, how they transact, how they act, and in fact, how they do things when no one is watching. That is, to me, ultimately what culture is all about. So culture is the ultimate catalyst for innovation. Another pillar is tool set. You've got to have the right tools, right? The right brainstorming tools. There are several tools to generate ideas. To give you some example, amplification is a tool. Laddering is a tool. Minimization is a tool. Conceptual blending is a tool. So you got to have a tool set, right? All these great companies have a tool set in terms of how they generate ideas. So if you want to drive innovation, you need to take what I call a systems approach to innovation, a systemic approach to innovation, or you need to have a whole architecture that fosters and promotes innovation. And I call that architecture an ecosystem for innovation. So to me, that is what any business needs to put together in order to drive, design, and deliver innovation.